City. We got to get out of here.
Oh, man.
So 5-11 for then San Diego and now Los Angeles. Denver was a winning record, but those two 12-4s were the only two playoff teams from the AFC West, with the Chiefs getting the tiebreaker over the Raiders. So once again, we continue our off-season odds. We did the NFC West earlier. Yep. Obviously, we're doing the AFC West now. Let's start at the bottom with the now Los Angeles Chargers and take a look at some of the roster moves they have made this offseason. They went a little depth on offensive line. They got Russell Okung. They drafted wideout Mike Williams out of Clemson. By the way, no longer sporting the powder blues, DJ Fluger, Stevie Johnson, Brandon Flowers, and of course they'll be playing in that soccer stadium that seats about 30,000 for the next 3 years now? 3 years.
No comment.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, so FPI, the Football Power Index, has their odds at 11% to win the division. You say?
I'm going to go a little higher than that. I'm going to go with 20% here,
wow.
Trey.
That's a big jump.
Yes, because they moved to Los Angeles. They're going to play in a small stadium. Teams get sort of, you forget about a team like that. You go, it's like you're going to a high school stadium. Teams come in, but I think there are a couple players on that offense for those Chargers that are going to be dangerous. Gordon and Phillip Rivers, I think he still wants to play football, and he really wants to be competitive. So, I think all year we'll still call them San Diego Slab. We'll sort of have some
we're gonna
problems.
have like a swear jar on the NFL Live set.
Yes.
Every time you mention that, San Diego, you're going to put $1 in the jar.
But the Los Angeles Chargers, I still think they will be competitive in this division.
All right, so you give them 20%. What about you, Field?
I'm almost as optimistic as Teddy, but slightly lower, and I love a good arbitrary number, so I'll go with 18. And when you have a pair of pass rushers...
That is an arbitrary number.
You know me, Trey. I'm good for a curveball every now and again. When you have a pair of pass rushers in both Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, who, by the way, is under the franchise tag currently, you've got a chance every single down on defense. Bosa could be significantly better as a second-year player than he was as a rookie, when he was a record-setting rookie who had no training camp. This guy should be a beast this offseason with a full offseason underneath his belt. The offensive lines in the AFC West, I think, a little bit vulnerable outside of Oakland, so keep an eye on that pass-rushing duo.
All right, now let's move on to the Denver Broncos, who, of course, did not get back to the playoffs after winning Super Bowl 50. Gary Kubiak stepped down. They bring in Vance Joseph, the former Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator, as their head coach. They also brought in former Chiefs running back Jamal Charles, while pass rushing star DeMarcus Ware announced his retirement. They upgraded the offensive line, got Menelik Watson from the Raiders and Ron O'Leary from the Dallas Cowboys, and that was a huge problem for them last year. FBI has them at 15%.
Okay, I'm going to put 25% right here, Trey.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's a nice number, Teddy.
A lot of talk about the competition between Lynch and Simeon, but I think it's Simeon's job. I think he's the guy that even the defense is looking to. They saw how he played last year. I liked what I saw out of him. Did he turn the ball over? Yes, but I still think he is going to continue to improve and win that job, and the defense is going to want him playing because they know he's the one that'll have more experience, and he'll have the faith of the defense, because I really believe you take care of that football as a quarterback, you're going to win the job in Denver. I think it is Simeon.
I'm going to go with 25% as well here, so a good pick by Teddy right there. And I think that anytime you have a cornerback trio, but my writing stinks.
No, it's not the writing. You're going to have to really think now, because you've
I have my abacus in my pocket.
5 and a 3, 8 as a 13. It's all
best
he's
trio
got even numbers.
Best trio of cornerbacks in football between Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, and then also Bradley Roby, a former first-round pick. When you have this duo specifically in Harris and Talib, and also Roby, it allows you to do so much up front. You can rush an extra man. You can rush 4. It doesn't matter. You're going to find a way to either get home to the quarterback, or these guys are good enough to hold up for long enough in man coverage that you can get coverage sacks as well. I just think this defense gives Denver a chance, even with some question marks at the offensive line and running game.
And let's forget Garrett Bowles, right? The first-round pick out of Utah also. They just need that offense to give them something.
Yes.
They had nothing on the offensive side of the ball last year. Now let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champs in this division. KC, of course, lost Jamal Charles because he's now in Denver. And they just recently said goodbye to Jeremy Maclin. But C.J. Spiller has been added to the backfield. Let's not forget Tyreek Hill just blossomed in the second half of the season. And they made the big move, as we just talked about, to get Patrick Mahomes 10th overall in the draft. FPI has them at 36%. Teddy?
All right, as you can tell, I think this is going to be a highly competitive division here, 25%. Alex Smith has already expressed his uneasiness about having that quarterback in the room with him.
Which was surprising, right?
It was a little bit so early, but I think Andy Reid, the head coach, is just the guy to quell those type of feelings of uneasiness. Hey, take it easy, Alex. You're still our guy. Really coddle him a little bit, get him going and still get good football out of the veteran quarterback. I don't think we'll see Mahomes unless there's an injury or barring some terrible play by Alex Smith. I just don't think that he's the type that's going to turn the ball over on a regular basis. He keeps his job for most of the year, maybe. But Eric Berry and that defense will still be a star of this unit, and I think the Chiefs have 25% to win that division.
All right, math major, what are you going to give us here?
I'm going to actually borrow this turquoise aqua color right here. 30%. And you'll understand why I'm using this color in just a moment. You look at the pass catchers available right now in Kansas City, and it feels to me like Travis Kelce could push for 100 receptions this season. He is a freak at the tight end position. He kind of looks like Gronk out there. He's terrific after the catch. He's impossible to bring down with just one tackler. Really like so much about his game. That's part of why Kansas City paid him so much money last offseason. Oh, by the way, this might be the best special teams team in the NFL. They can score on a moment's notice, kick return, punt return, and they cover really well. Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill. Yep.
So
okay,
why the color?
Why the color?
Well, because if you do the math.
No. We'll do the next one. Right,
we'll wait,
figure it
I
out.
guess,
Okay.
Chase.
Field, aqua, crazy numbers. We'll figure it out. All right, let's move on to the Raiders. Made upgrades to the offense. They brought in beast mode in that deal with Seattle. They brought in former Packer tight end Jared Cook and ex-Viking receiver and return specialist Cordero Patterson. They also parted ways with veteran defensive tackle Dan Williams. But a lot of this is really about one thing, and that's whether or not Derek Carr will be back and ready to roll like he was up until, week 16 or 17 last year when he broke that ankle. It was terrible. I know the number, 37, and you got 30 left.
So that's 30% there. They're my favorites to win the division. One of the biggest disappointments last year going into the playoffs was the Carr injury because I thought
they were rolling.
They have the offense to go into New England and really just push them if Brady has a bad day. If the Texans had a quarterback when Brady had a bad day, they could have won that game.
2 interceptions in that
I think
game.
the Raiders, Derek Carr, and then the addition of Marshawn Lynch is really special because to have that finisher behind that offensive line, that's really good. So the Raiders, I think, 30% in a highly competitive division.
All right, so back to green for me to show that we're no longer in the division favorite category, and I'll go with the Oakland Raiders at 27%. And it's sort of a chemically imbalanced roster. Other than Khalil Mack, who scares you defensively for the Oakland Raiders? There really isn't a player at the second or third level that you fear consistently. Now, of course, players like Carl Joseph will be better in his second season in the NFL, but cornerback still an area of concern for the Oakland Raiders. Linebacker still an area of concern for them. Way too many points given up in Oakland last season. I'm just not sure it's that much better this year, despite the fact their offense is great.
Okay, I still don't understand why the change of color there for the Chiefs.
To note that was the highest percentage. I don't know.
That?
I just like to mix things up.
You buying that? Why did you do Chief Red then, right? Why did you do
good
Chief
idea.
Red? Nice. I thought there was like an actual reason.